All right. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Transformation Think Tank Live. Today I'm actually with Jen Arp all the way from Montreal, Canada, and we're live number 5. So it's actually, I like the ring to that one. So thanks for joining me today, Jen. um, I'm going to be talking with him in detail about how things are going in the startup ecosystem here in Montreal as well as around the world. So he's done some pretty amazing things since we last talked with him, and has a really cool accelerator program with Holt Accelerator coming up very, very quickly as well. So my name is Doyle Buehler, author of the book on digital transformation breakthrough, and founder of Department of Digital, the digital consultancy for transformation. Go to breakthrough.digital to get started on your journey. And like I said, today I'm talking with Jan Arp. So welcome to the program, Jan. How you doing?
Doing fantastic. Thanks, Doyle, for
Yeah.
inviting me as always.
Yeah, no problem. My pleasure. It's great to talk with you. So where are you sitting now?
I'm out in the Holt office, Holt HQ right now. So it's good
Oh, okay.
that we've officially moved in now. So it's nice to be set up and a little bit more as we are creatures of habit, a place to call home.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's good. Well, I'll have to come check out your new home then. And that's in Montreal then, correct? Or
Absolutely, yeah.
yeah. And so you've been doing a lot of traveling since we last spoke to a lot of different. There's the Startup Fest here in Montreal. It seems like every time we talk, you're kind of on a plane or getting on a plane. So where have you been and what have you found out?
Yeah, so both my co-founder Brendan and myself have definitely been traveling to all the markets to see and explore what is fintech and what around the world, and see if we can scout the top fintechs and really build those bridges. On the Canadian side, obviously Montreal to Toronto and other smaller cities, smaller tier cities like Quebec City and Calgary. We'll be heading to New York. Brendan's already been to New York, London, Tel Aviv. Singapore and Hong Kong off the top of my head.
Wow, that's amazing. And that's in 4 weeks, right? Is that
Yes,
right?
that's
Or
correct. We had there was one week where I had to hit up about four cities, so I was doing it was a lot of traveling and
oh wow.
one day per city type of thing.
Well, fantastic. So what are the key differences you notice in these cities in these countries, or is there a difference? I don't know. I've always kind of people have asked me that, and it's like, well, sometimes there's not really a big difference, but I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it was very an interesting experience to see what was happening in different places. So let's start with maybe go Canada to start. Overall, Canada is interesting. I do feel a sense of people really willing to collaborate and get behind this initiative as it's been missing within the ecosystem. So the Holt Accelerator is that sort of missing piece. So we've been very fortunate to get some really world-class advisors super easily across Canada as they've really wanted to assist and make sure this actually takes off and happens. If we focus on the different markets, like if we look at sort of the Montreal Quebec area as a whole, we see that I had this presentation and I called is Montreal a world class fintech ecosystem? And the presentation was flowed as yes, but. So yes, we are doing a lot of great things, and I listed off a bunch of examples. Like we have a new close to $100 million fund for purely early stage fintech investments. There's a new fintech station that's going to be announced, which will be announced in Montreal, with that'll house 30 plus fintechs. We have our new accelerator, of course, Holt Accelerator. That's going to bring in 10 teams a year minimum, at least for our first, especially starting with our first cohort. There was a whole bunch of things, but on the other side, if you compare it to what's happening around the world, proportionately smaller to some of the best in class systems out there. So just to give you one example of a co-working space, yes, we're starting with 30, but if we look at the Londons in this world, and there's one of the most massive ones that's out there, sorry, the name is escaping me, but they house about 200 fintechs there and have about 1,200 employees working for those fintechs. So a magnitude of 6.5 times larger. But they also have been around for 5+ years. So there's a chance we can grow into that. Does that mean we're 5 years behind? Not quite, but for that particular case, that co-working space, I guess you can make that argument. So that was more in the Quebec region. If we look across Canada, Toronto's been doing some fantastic things, and they house about 50% of the fintechs. But I would say overall Canada as a whole is sort of missing this leadership position of working together. We're still very much in silos, and I do feel a little bit of that happening when I'm in Toronto still. But they still, own the lion's share of the fintechs, obviously.
Yeah.
So the big banks.
What kind of silos are you seeing then?
It's more that we do want to work together, right? But in some cases, we're very complementary, but it's not as immediate or urgent to partner, even though we're very much doing the same things. And so building those collaborations takes time, and it's almost an investment, and it's challenging because you're getting anyone to collaborate. So, and it feels like you're moving slow at first, and I feel that's sort of the issue that's holding back. Now, I do feel those silos are starting to break. And I do think we're realizing the importance of it in terms of the long-term investment. And so we are seeing increasing efforts of everyone sort of reaching out saying, how do we better work together? One reason why is obviously in some cases, we're fighting over the same budgets, right? So from the government side. But in other cases, if you make your goals big enough and you start talking internationally, then you go, wow, there's a big market out there. And for us to properly tackle it, we're better off to do it together. Okay. So then you can change the subject, you can change the focus and the goals, and it makes it worthwhile to work together.
And so what would be your highlight of going through all these different startup ecosystems? What's sort of been that moment where you go, wow, this is really cool. I'm really excited about this.
First of all, it's just meeting the startups themselves is always an energy driver, right? And it's like you get to meet people who are always so passionate about what they work on, and you hear these really cool ideas. You're like, wow, why didn't I think of that type of thing? And they've really been able to really position and articulate some of this stuff and really find a niche. And it's because they have these maybe years of experience, and they've just done so much research and really carved it out. And it's always interesting because it just seems like all the pieces just came together in this perfect storm of ideas. That's always, I don't know, I always find that super interesting, exciting. I'm like, how was that able and possible to make happen? And sometimes it just does, right? And then when we look around the world, every situation is really different. I was really impressed by what was happening out of Tel Aviv, for instance. I was there for one business day, and I probably had plus 20 meetings. I was there for an event because they had this app where you can book meetings for 20-minute slots. Everyone was responding. People were shooting me messages. Everyone just wants to meet. It's open for business. And they say they're ready for business. I better understood what that means. I was leaving the event. People were taking meetings with me in the park. They'll pitch their idea. I was really impressed by that.
No, that's cool. So just quickly to wrap up then, and we wanted to keep this short and condensed so that we can get the sort of the highlights real. But you have the Holt Accelerator. It's coming up. What are some of the deadlines, and what are some of the things that startups need to know rather?
Yeah, August 4th is the deadline to apply. So make sure you get your application in before. It's 20 questions and upload the pitch deck. Other than that, if you are selected, first of all, you can expect an interview that will be coming within the next 2 weeks. And then thereafter, there's selection day, August 27th, 28th. You'll meet world-class advisors such as Doyle himself, who will help with the screening and selection process. So there'll be 75 plus people who's going to help with that. It's speed dating, right? And so you'll have a great opportunity to meet, tons of world-class advisors, fintech focused, to take your company to the next level. Thereafter, if you're selected, we can agree on the terms. You'll be entering into, the program, which starts the week of September 17th. So those are the kind of the key deadlines to keep in mind.
All right. Well, that's really, really cool. Fantastic details. Really looking forward to getting this started because, it's quite exciting. So looking forward to participating. And thank you so much, Jan, for joining in and, talking about the worldwide ecosystems. Really appreciate that. So anybody can go to holtaccelerator.ai/our-program and you'll be able to apply. And the final date was the 6th of August. Is that correct?
4th of August.
Okay, so the 4th of August, that's your deadline. That's your call to action. So all the fintech startups, make sure that you get in there and get rolling. So thank you so much, Jan. Really appreciate your time and looking forward to hearing your next story down the road. So thanks again.
Awesome. Thanks, Doyle. Take care.
Okay, take care. Bye.